What's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about Conquest Volume 17, aka Sith Rey Conquest. So, we're going to talk about how to get 530 box, 630 box. This is a pretty easy one. So, I hope with this video, as well as other resources out there, you can easily get at least the 530 box. That's always the goal with Conquest. So, if you're not familiar, the 530 box gets you the character before they leave Conquest rewards. And if you buy in the merchants as well, that'll really help because that'll push you toward getting it maybe in the 5th Conquest instead of the 6th. But we're going to talk about how to easily get 530 as well as, then we'll talk on my main on how to get max crate as well. My main goal is to tell you the teams I'm using. I'm not going to have 15 suggestions for every feat. I'm going to give you the most common recommended team. You may not have all of them, but hopefully this will really help because we are going to start on my alt account. So this account is 9.8 mil. I know that's very large. I try to avoid using GLs at all possible for this. So I think I only use like 3 GLs really, and one of them I don't even really need. It's just because. Like I think one of them is Sith Eternal with Night Trooper and Captain Enoch when Captain Enoch and Night Trooper can die. Right? So it's like you really just have to win that battle. You could toss them in anything and just win the battle. So that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, we'll just kind of work through them. So first we'll review the feats, and then I'll explain the coloring I've got going on here, and then we'll work through my squads, and then we'll go to the main account. Global feats, we've got the 250 Golden Challenge Path. That is an easy 15 free key cards, has been recently for most of them. 15 with Marok and Shin in your squad. Notably, they do not have to survive. They can be Gear 1, Level 1, and die, no problem, you're fine. Now, if you're going for max rate, you're going to obviously need them higher gear than that so that you can do some of the survive feats, but for this one, don't worry about it, they can die. Inflict crit chance down 100 times. The best character I found by far for that one's Tarkin, by the way. We'll talk about it when we get to squads, but that seems like some of the best one because that's an AoE. So you get 5 every single use. You know, do that 100 divided by 5 times. Well, I guess you're going to have some enemies die, that kind of thing. But basically, put them under a Palp team, and you could probably get that done in anywhere from 10 to 15 battles. Pretty easy. Alright, full squad of Dark Side Aligned Force users. This just screams Inquisitors. If you have Inquisitors done, that's a great one. That's going to be the easiest route. I don't think you'll need Reva. GI has always been really strong in Conquest with feats that we've had. With data discs and everything else added in, GI has been a really strong Conquest unit. I know that like GI gets dunked on pretty hard before you have Reva, but seriously in Conquest, that team does put in some good work, and they're going to do a lot of feats for us today. So Inquisitors are going to be a mainstay cornerstone for a lot of these feats. I'm sure you could make that work with SLKR, with like SLK. So I said we wouldn't talk too much into, but just one other option there would be SLK, Kylo Ren Unmasked, Baby Kylo, and then toss in Star Killer and whatever other dark side Aligned Force user might have. You might not be able to do that in the later sectors, and you might just have to stick that into Sector 1, but that will get you your 15 key cards. But ideally, you have Inquisitors for that. Full squad Night Sisters. If you have Night Sisters, great. That's easy. Night Sisters have always been good in Conquest. If you don't have Night Sisters, there's not really a lot you can do. 15 full battles of Galactic Republic. Most people will be able to handle this, whether you've got Padme, JMK, Gas, Bad Batch. You know, there's tons of Galactic Republic options out there, so that'll be an easy one. Sector 1. So now the key cards are going down to 5. Sorry, I am just very parched. Key cards go down to 5. We've got crit damage down, and we'll talk about more of this stuff as we get there, and I'll go through specific feats, so I'm not going to go in depth now. Crit damage down, Morgan Elsbeth surviving, full mercenary, so that's a new tag, a lot of scoundrels and bounty hunters. Blight, 40 times, that's a Night Trooper. That's going to be your Blight, just FYI. Defeat an enemy with Death Trooper Perdia, win without any attackers in your squad, win with Luther Rail surviving, win with Marok surviving. Now Sector 2, potency up 50 times, and again, we'll talk about the squads. Potency up 50 times, 10 battles of Great Mother surviving, 10 battles full of UFUs. Again, if you're doing the global for Darkside UFUs, that'll count here as well. So that's an easy double dip. Because Sector 2 is not a big step up in difficulty from Sector 1 anyway. 30 armor shreds, that'll take a minute, but you'll get it done easy. Enemy with Shin Hati. Night Sister full squad. Ezra Exile. If you didn't have them, you don't have them. Win a full squad of mercenary units. And then let's move over to Sector 3. Accuracy down. win without using a leader in the leader slot. I don't have specific squads listed for that one. It's literally just going to be use a GL. Like, if you're going for red or 530, you have at least one Galactic Legend, and you'll probably have to use them for that. You could make some, like, Jedi Knight Revan thing work or Darth Revan thing work without a lead, too. But realistically, if you're thinking about getting 530 or 630, you've got squads that can do that one. Win with Desert Prettiest surviving, inflict stun 50 times, win with Morgan Elsbeth surviving, defeat enemy with mercenary units, win with Padawan Sabine Wren in your squad, win with only Dark Side. Sector 4, speed down 50 times, 10 with Enoch and Night Trooper, not surviving, key, very key, that makes it really easy. Win 10 with Shin Hati, surviving, win 10 without losing anyone, so flawless wins. Win without using hokey religions. We see that fit all the time. That's like a Jabba, Imperial Trooper, Leia thing. Or Grievous, depending on when Grievous can win and when he can't. Defeating enemy with Kylo Ren, that is going to be the baby Kylo, the crouch down Kylo. Win with Hu Yang surviving, win with a full squad of UFUs. Crit damage up 50 times. Again, that'll come back to Grand Inquisitor. Han Solo is also great there. Win 10 with full IR. 10 with Morgan and Grey Mother surviving, and then a bunch of evades. No attackers. Win with Shin surviving, only light side, and Balin. Balin, obviously, you have to be a whale to have Balin right now. His characters are not all farmable, so the only condition for getting him is currently being a whale. So, this will be a whale, only 5 banners that only those people can get. That's fine. It's not a big deal. This is a pretty friendly conquest. So, let's shift over and talk about my squads. So this is, again, for my alt. Forgive me. Let's talk about one more thing. So the legend here, the red, this is feats I'm skipping because I cannot do them. So just to give you the total. So all of the red here, all the feats I cannot do, and I guess I'll talk a little bit. My alt account does not have Night Sisters at all. Period. Faction non-existent. I have Ventress at gear 11. That's it. So I'm not doing the global feed. That's 16 keycards I lose. Brief reminder, you can skip 34 keycards and get max crate. You can skip 134 keycards and get 530 crate. So for 530 being the goal, we can skip 134. There's 16 of our allowance there. Sector 1, I don't have Night Trooper up, so that's 5 on the Blight. I'm not going to be able to kill someone with my non-existent Death Trooper Perdia, so there's another 2. I'm not going to be able to get a kill with Shin. Full Squad Night Sisters. I don't have Ezra Bridger Exile. I do have Luthen Rail, notably in Sector 1. If you don't have Luthen, that's 3 keycards you'll need to drop there. But don't worry, a lot of margin here if you're like my alt account, don't have Night Sisters or Impaled Remnants up. Same thing, Desperate Pretty Survive. Oh, sorry, that's an orange. We'll come back to that one. Sector 5, win with full squad of IR, not going to happen for me. I've got TIE Fighter Pilot, that's it. Win with Balin, obviously I don't have Balin. So that's what the red means. The red means I cannot do it. And that is 50. 50 tickets I cannot do on my alt account. Therefore, I have to make the decision. I'm going to have to do the 530 box. I can skip an additional 84 key cards from there. So I went through and said, let me pick some feats that are going to be really, really big pain for me to do on this account. Skip those. So when you're going into Conquest, you don't want to just say, let me just do everything I can. You want to make a plan and say, these are the feats I can do. These are the feats I can't do. And if I can help it, these are the feats I don't want to do. That's really important because you want to be farming datacrons, right? You don't want to be trying to cheese mercenary unit wins or Shin Hati survives so you don't have to. You want to be farming datacrons. That's you get your crate and you farm your datacrons. That's the goals of Conquest now. That's just how it goes. I don't make the rules. All right, so Sector 1, we're going to opt out of the Morgan Elsbeth Survive. That would be easy with JML. If you need to do it, JML Watt, same as last Conquest. We had a global feat for that. 10 battles of mercenary units. I'm going to skip it because I can. But if I needed to do it, Django lead bounty hunters or like Bam and Dash scoundrels will be able to get it done. Jedi Knight Cal also has a mercenary tag for some reason. I don't know why. There's not really any Jedi, so I don't know that I would put him in a team, but he does have it. And then in Sector 2, we're going to skip Grey Mother surviving. Same thing. If you needed to do it, just put him with JMO and Watt, or put her with JMO and Watt, done. That's your prettiest surviving. Exact same. JMO, Watt, done. Sector 4, Shin Hati surviving. Do I need to finish this sentence? JMO, Watt, done. right? Or if you're running out of stamina, you mix in a little bit of Jabba, a little bit of LV, or a little bit any other squad that can just keep them alive. But again, if you're not getting 630, you don't have to do it. When Tabel's Great Mothers and Morgan Elsbeth surviving. Skip that one too. Sector 5. So if you're going to only be able to skip some of the survives, start in Sector 5 and work up. Because those are going to be way harder. It's going to be way harder if you've got a low gear Morgan and Great Mothers surviving in Sector 5 and Sector 4 than it is in Sector 1 and 2. So those are the things to keep in mind there. So that's another 50. So that is, again, only 50 that we skip there. So between the cannot do and the elected, that's a 100 tickets skipped, and I have another 34. So if I decided during it, I can't get Luthen and Rail to survive in Sector 1, no big deal. I've got 34 I can skip. Let me just do some napkin math here. 2, 5, 8, 11, 15, 19, 23, 27, 30... Okay, so I couldn't skip all of them, but I could skip almost every single mini boss and boss feat and still get 530. So I'm going to obviously do as many as I can. Some of these are going to be very easy, right? Like win with a full squad of mercs should be fine. For just one battle, shouldn't be a problem. Win with a full squad of online force users, not a problem for me. You know, all these other feats on here, like they're going to be fine. But I guess the point is you want to build some margin, but skip what you just don't want to do because it's going to be a pain. Alright, so with that said, let's talk about teams for the alt account. So again, this is 530 is the goal. We'll talk more in depth as we get to them. I know the wording here is crazy. I'll do my best to talk you through it. G being global, and then lowercase immediately following is the feat, or feats, often changed by camel case. That is a capital letter. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Global feats for Marok and Shin survive, as well as the unaligned force user, the dark side unaligned force user feat. So that's what I'm doing here on this one. So in Sector 1, we'll just farm this up. No big deal. We'll get to the bonus node and we'll farm it up and they'll die, whatever, I get data crunch, you know? Global, this is for the crit chance, I believe it's down. Crit chance down, I just put CC, but it's the crit chance related global feat. Sector 3, stuns. So we've got Mara and Palp doing stuns in Sector 3. Sector 4, speed down on Vader's AoE. So Palpatine, Tarkin, Vader, very core for us for this conquest. We'll need to get a lot of battles out of them. Luckily, you can see they're pretty spaced here. So we've just got global. We can work on like Sector 1, a feat in Sector 3. The Sector 4 will come a little on the heels of it, but that's okay. We should be able to get stuns pretty quick. It's 50 stuns, so that'll be a pretty quick one. I should have left this up so I could glance at the feats. Sorry. So I could glance at the feats as well as I talk, if I need to. Alright, so if you need me to glance that way, I'm looking at the feats. Globals. So this was a global for the Dark Side UFU survives. So we're using Reva. Again, Grand Inquisitor would work wonders here. So you could just move Grand Inquisitor in the lead, slot in Night Sister, and you're off to the races. Sector 2, Armor Shred. And that's the full squad of unaligned forces. So this is 2 feats in Sector 2 that this is getting. Sector 3 on the accuracy down. That's on 8th Brother's AoE. Another great accuracy down character, and I think I've got him on my ult as well, is Cad Bane. You could toss him under Bosk or under Jabba or anything like that, and you'll get some more accuracy down. And then in Sector 5, we have crit damage up, and that is on Grand Inquisitor's AoE. So all Inquisitor Corious allies getting crit damage up for 2 turns. So that's 5 every time he pulls it, and it's 50 times. So 10 AoE is from Grand Inquisitor, that's done. That's probably going to take anywhere from 5 to 10 battles, realistically. Global Galactic Republic survives. Sorry, Global Galactic Republic full squad don't have to survive. So this is just going to be a, hey, I need something to throw at this, throw them at it, whatever, global feat too. This is the Global Galactic Republic as well, and it pushes toward the Sector 2 Armor Shred. Malgus is the next most important team in our discussion. Now, you can do all of these without Malgus. If you just have Darth Revan, the only one you cannot do is the crit damage up from Malgus. So that I'll talk about that. Sector 1, you've got the crit damage down, and that's from Bastila Unfallen. Sector 2, you've got potency up, that comes from Sith Marauder. And that's whole team, so he gives it to the whole team. Sector 4, speed down. I believe that's coming from Bastilish on Fallen as well. Sector 5, crit damage up is on his basic. Sith Rey is getting crit damage up for 2 turns. So this is going to be stupid easy with Malgus. So, we've got GI's middle ability is his AoE that gets it, and Malgus' basic. You got either one of those, you got great options. As well, you could put in Han. But I think I'd have to look. I'll tell you what, I'll look. That way I'm not guessing. I think he might only give it to himself. Yeah, so he's the only one that gets the crit damage up. So, like, Han could get you a little bit, but that would take a while at 50. You could do it. If you found, like, a Calorina Mast or an Infus Nest, and Han just sat there just looping turn meter, you could do it. But, like, one of these is going to be your best option. And there are more options out there, and I encourage you to just Google SWGOH crit damage up, and you'll find more options. These were the 2 best ones at me, and I'd like to think most people have one of the other. So those are the 2 recommendations I have for you. But there weren't a ton of other like really good recommendations for crit damage up. I'll check again. I know I'm in the middle of recording this, but just to be sure I'm not completely telling you wrong. So I see like Grief I think has some. Yeah, so when you okay, it's when you kill someone with his swarm. So that one's kind of a pain. The Mandalorian's got it on his special. Yeah, so Mando can give it to 2 people on his special. SLK is probably your best bet. If you have SLK on top of these, let me double check. I'm not telling you wrong, but when a first or ally gains advantage and they're an attacker, they get crit damage up. So I would say that. So when you're gaining advantage, basically you start the battle, attackers get crit damage up. You could load in with 5 first order attackers, just do that 10 times, and you get it right away. So yeah, there you go. SLK, 5 attackers. If you don't have Malgus, GI, and SLK, I encourage you to look for more options. This is another Armor Shred team. If you have Jedi Knight Cal as well as if you had Cam as well, it's great. But he's got Armor Shred on this one. So you do basic into Whirlwind Slam, and he's got Armor Shred there, and that'll go quick with him. Obviously, lots of ways to get it. I could technically skip it if I wanted to. And again, all these feats that we've talked about so far have been 5 ticket, really. Like a lot of these are 5 tickets. So you can, the crit damage one though, that's a 15. So you will need to find a crit damage up team. Accuracy down, I mentioned Jabba. If you don't get it a lot with 8th Brother or you don't have Inquisitors. Again, this could be a Boss Bounty Hunter team. This could be any Bounty Hunter team. You just want Cad Bane getting called to assist. Like we've got Skiff Lando in here to pass him turns and Jabba to call a swarm. So he'll get lots of hits in, get us a lot of accuracy down. Sector 4, I'll just throw this at the last node, the Datacron node. I might toss Bane in there just for the hell of it, but it's just, they don't need to survive. It's literally just enter the battle, win the battle. C is normally pretty good for that. You can't use them for anything else, so you're not hurting your stamina anywhere else. And then this is our Sector 5 Evade team. So I've just got JMK in here with Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda's just going to spread. Lots of foresight. We get lots of foresight from GK as well. Lots of ways to get evade. You guys know how to get evades. You could also do like CLS with 3-Poc and toss a blind out. You got lots of ways to get evades. So again, the feats that we're doing on this account that we just talked about. Global, challenge path kills, obviously, whatever. 15 with Shen Marok, and that's the first team here. I normally start global and kind of work my way down. And then we've got the crit chance down from Tarkin. We've got full Dark Side Line Force users, mainly Inquisitors, Galactic Republic, JMK. Crit damage down. Who was the crit damage down again? I'm blanking. Forgive me. Right, Bastila. That was Bastila, yep. Yep, so we got Bastila giving us crit damage down there. A lot of Sith Empire stuff, I'm telling you. A lot of Sith Empire stuff here. And then we're going straight to Sector 2 in terms of the zone feats. Potency up, which we talked about with Marauder. He's a great option. Greedo also has some if you don't have Marauder. Full UFU squad, same thing as before. You can make it work with some SLK stuff, some Ray stuff, or Inquisitors. I recommend Inquisitors. Armor Shred, you got good options. Inquisitors also have a little bit of Armor Shred on 8th Brother as well if you have the Zeta. Then Sector 3, we've got accuracy down, no lead, stun 50 times. Sector 4, speed down, that's on Vader's AoE. Enoch and Night Trooper survive 10 flawless battles, that's easy as pie. Crit damage up that we talked about at length in Sector 5, and then evade 100 attacks. So that's it. That's everything for the alt account. So we'll take a beat here and switch over to my main account. And we're back. Alright, so let me get my main up. Alright, so this is my main. If you're familiar with the legend, or if you skip the first part, red means you can't do it. So that's all red means if you skipped, and you've skipped to the max crate. So this is max crate plan for my main account. My main account is 12.3 million. I do have a Relic Great Mother and Morgan. I just finished Great Mother 2 days ago. Finished farming her. I will talk about if you don't have them relicked, because I understand almost everyone will not. But my plan does have them being used at their relic level, but I'll talk about it. Don't worry. So, skipping on this account, I'm skipping the Death Protea kill in Sector 1 mini-boss because screw that. I'm not doing it. It's just obnoxious. I am skipping the kill with Shin Hati in Sector 2. It's 2 key cards. I don't care. And then I don't have Balin Skull, so I can't do that. So that's only 9 key cards I've got listed as skipping. So if you can match most of what I show you here, you still have 25 key cards you could skip. So like you could skip one Sector 5 feat and one Sector 3 or 4 feet, based on what I'm about to tell you, even if you could do everything else I can do. So that's it. That's the only difference is really, those are the feats we're doing. We already read through them all, so I don't see any more reason for us to dawdle here. So let me get you on the squads. So, main account, same thing as before on the global for the Dark Sideline Force users, the Shin Marok survive. Doing this again. I've got obviously a higher gear Shin Marok, so I should be able to do the survives that I'm skipping, opting out of on my alt account. Same thing here for all these feats. I'm not going to, well, okay, in case you didn't watch the alt, I'll quickly run through it. So, global for the Dark Side Unaligned Force user Shariva, Armor Shreds in Sector 2 from 8th Brother, Full Unaligned Force user in Sector 2 from this as well, Sector 3 Accuracy down from 8th Brother, and Sector 5 Crit Damage up from Grand Inquisitor's AoE. Global, we're doing Palpatine and Tarkin. Tarkin getting us our crit chance down. And then this is one that I didn't have on my alt, but Scout Trooper is going to be the better plug-in for this team because it adds the potency up and the potency up in Sector 2 and the accuracy down in Sector 3. So that's awesome. As well as this team gets our stun in Sector 3 from Palp and Mara. And in Sector 4, we get speed down from Vader. So this team gets you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conquest feats. If you have this exact team, 5 conquest feats. Done. Huge. Ginormous. If you don't have the Marin team, regular Night Sisters is going to get you the global no problem. Even without, sorry, I said Marin. Even if you don't have the Great Mother's Morgan team, regular Night Sisters will get you, no problem, the global feat. You don't even need Marin. Night Sisters are really strong in Conquest. They've got great survivability with Night Sister Zombie and all the revives, all the cheese that happens. So you can easily get the global feat with this Night Sister team. That's all this is for. Global Night Sisters. Done. This team, if you have a Relic and Morgan and Great Mothers, you're probably not even watching the video because you don't need my help. But I'm using this to get my Night Sister Global. Crit chance down. Oh, here we go. It's just not as basic. Sorry, I apologize. On this ability, all enemies are inflicted with crit chance down. AoE crit chance down. So we get more crit chance down from Night Trooper as well, just like Tarkin. Obviously, he's not going to get it as much as Tarkin does, but still. As well as the Sector 1 Blight from his basic, and the Morgan Elsbeth survives. Now, if you do not have Great Mother, just JML, Watt, Great Mothers, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, sorry, and Morgan, not Great Mother, and get your Morgan survives. And then separately, if you have Enoch, Imperial Remnants, then get your Blight. I only have them mixed into one because he also has the Night Sister tag, so this is fine. So I can do this. I'm only going to do this in Sector 1. So that's fine. If you don't have Great Mothers, just break them up. It's no big deal at all. Just to be clear. No big deal. If you, this is the other stuff that a team can do so many feats. I had to make it twice. But also, you would take him out as you got in Sector 2 anyway. So continuing the global feat, Sector 1 Morgan thing, as well as now you get the Sector 2 Great Mother Survives and the Sector 5 Morgan and Great Mother Survives. Again, if you don't have them relicked, JML, Watt, in this case, since you have two people, JML, Watt, Jedi Knight, Luke, Morgan, Great Mothers. That's the team I would use to cheese that. You're going to have to find a team without AoEs in Sector 5, and it will be tough, but you can do it. Otherwise, it's one at a time. The Great Mother survives, and the Morgan survives one at a time, so you JML one at a time. This is our Galactic Republic Global, as well as it'll get some of the Sector 5 evade, but you will be better off putting Yoda in here over Padme for that, just like I did on my alt account. This gets us an Armor Shred. Technically, this could get us an Armor Shred too, but you have to get a second leap to get Armor Shred, so you just don't get it most of the time. This is the exact same thing we talked about on the other account, which is our crit damage down from Bastila Fallen, potency up from Marauder in Sector 2, speed down from Bastila Shan in Sector 4, and crit damage up from Malgus's basic in Sector 5. Sector 1, Mercenary wins with full team. Jango Fett Bounty Hunters, this was the best thing I could really field, or you could do Beskar. I prefer Beskar Mando lead, by the way, to Dash, because whenever an enemy takes damage, Scoundrels get turn meter, versus Dash's lead is really only helping prepared Scoundrels here. You get a little bit extra stats, and that's kind of it. So like I do have L3, so I can maybe get a little more out of it. If I had a Relic Vandor Chewie, if he gets the Merc tag, which I don't know if he does, probably does, then you would do Dash lead. But I don't have a Relic Vandor Chewie, so I have Bamley as my example here. I'll likely use Jango for most of it, but here are kind of two just options I threw out there. Armor Shred option, especially you got Cam. Cal and Cam will fly through the Armor Shreds. Cal gets an Armor Shred every other turn. Cam gets them pretty frequently as well. You'll get it crazy fast. This is continuing as well as... So this continue means that I was also getting feats in earlier sectors from this if I wanted to get the Blight from Night Trooper. As well as now I can get my Sector 3 accuracy down, as well as Death Trooper Perdia survives. And the accuracy down is coming from Scout Trooper here. Sorry, accuracy up. Down. One of these guys has there's the accuracy down. I was about to say, he definitely has accuracy down. So he's got accuracy up and accuracy down. That's quite funny, actually. So that gets that. And then as well as the Sector 5 Imperial Remnant full team. Sector 4 was the Night Trooper Enoch. So that's the get the survives with Enoch and not survives. Get the wins with Night Trooper Enoch in the team. So this gets you a lot as well. If you have this, we had it last Conquest as well. If you had it for then, you got it for now. And this is also an option for the Sector 3 stun. If you need some extra stuns, Palp doesn't quite push all the way. But that's it. It's a very short list of teams. I know it's kind of a longer video, but it's a short team list, realistically. All things considered, like, it's not that many teams. So, yeah, I hope this helped you. I hope that you find sort of the answers you're looking for. Let me quickly shout out a couple honorable mentions for feats here that maybe didn't get brought up today. Enoch can also give you crit damage up, just FYI. So for the CD down, crit damage down in Sector 1, Dash, Rindar also has crit damage down on AoE. Paz has crit damage down on AoE. I think we mentioned Greedo has potency up. Gets it on his basic. Kit Fistu has an AoE potency up, and you could toss a Jedi in there and just spread that. So that's easy if you got a Kit Fisto from like a Jedi LSB. Armor Shred again, 8th Brother Bo-Katan, Gas, Jedi Knight Cal, Ben Solo, Finnick, Morgan, as well as Cam. Accuracy down, Cad Bane, 8th Brother Scout. Stuns, Palp, Tarkin, JMO, JKL, Ayla, lots of stuns. You guys know what gets stuns. Speed downs, Bastila, Vader, and Newt Gunray also has an AoE speed down. So if you don't have Bastila or Vader, you might be screwed in a lot of places, but you got AoE speed down from Newt Gunray. And then CD up where you talk about Grand Inquisitor, Malgus, SLK, and I mentioned Enoch. So I hope that helps. I hope that really does assist in your preparation. I encourage you to make a squad page like this. You do not have to use my absurd naming scheme. Normally, so this is more detailed than normal. Normally for me, I finish making a team. So we're going to make our Cup team, all right? And Cup gets all the feats done. So Cup here would accomplish our global feats, Sector 1 feats, Sector 2, Sector 3, Sector 4, Sector 5. And that's what I would do. I would not actually put any elaboration on this at all. It would literally just be Global Sector 1. So if you watched my last one, but I know I had some feedback from a lot of people that it was kind of tough to remember what was for what. So this is how I adapted it. This is for Max Crate on my main account. I have a lot I could skip here. So if you do not have the Great Mother stuff, you need to skip that. You actually could. You could skip you could skip the Great Mother Survive, the Morgan Survive, and the Great Mother Morgan Duo Survives, and still get Max Crate, skipping the same 3 feats that I skipped plus those. So there's a lot of margin here for Max Crates. I hope this really helps. I truly do. If you have questions or maybe some recommendations I missed out on, I haven't watched any other content creators' videos yet. I'm sure Bit Dynasty will put out videos as well. Bit Dynasty, Arnold, lots of people will put out guides. This is my crack at it, and I'm sure we'll find more teams as we get closer. I hope you've had a fantastic time watching. Please do subscribe if you don't mind. Conquest is one of my biggest focuses, so if you do constantly want Conquest stuff, I try my best to put out what I can, but I also do a lot of new and mid-game and early game player guides, as well as I stream Grand Arenas Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday nights at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.